Hi folks and welcome Hi folks and welcome to another edition of the Linux Man Cave. Today we are going to install ClearOS Community 6.2.0 release candidate number 1. This is a firewall/server product that you can install on a computer, and it will give you a firewall and or a server on your network, or both actually. So we're going to fire up a VirtualBox and we'll create a virtual instance for this. Now when you're doing the installation, make sure to give it at least 1 GB of RAM, otherwise the graphical installation will not run. And because I'm going to set it up as this demo as a gateway, we need to assign it 2 network adapters. The first one we're going to put as a bridged adapter so that we can get to it from our web browser. And the second one we're going to leave as natted. We're not going to actually configure the second one, but put it in as natted so that it will actually see that there's 2 network adapters. We select our installation media and we start the install process. As you can see, I've got a new webcam, trying it out today. It is a Logitech C615 HD webcam. It's supposed to do full 1080p. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. Okay, getting into the graphical interface. Very nice looking distribution installation. Firewall.linksmancave.org. That doesn't actually exist. I'm just using that as an example. Go over here in the Los Angeles area. This is a cool little feature. I just typed in password for the password. It says, hey, you're using a weak password. Do you want to change it? We're going to use it anyway, but it's a nice thought that they're actually checking that. And we'll write the changes to the disk. It will build its logical volume manager. And so this is a server software. If you've got a lot of hard drives on your machine, it will actually create a great big volume for you so that you can utilize all of your space in one volume. So kind of like a great big partition. Okay, the software is installing. It will take a little bit. I wanted to take time to show you their website, the clearfoundation.com website. You can learn about the Clear Foundation, what their code base is, their bylaws. They've got great documentation, lots of how-tos, how to do things, man pages for everything, and they have an awesome forum. So if you can't find it in the documentation, or if you don't want to look in the documentation, you can always ask somebody a question. They've got information on directory, network, server, system. Lots of great forum content, and tons of people on here all the time. So if you've got a question you need asked, there will be somebody to answer your question fairly quickly. You can expect at least a 24-hour turnaround on stuff. So do check out their forums, and if you're a developer, you can take a look at all their developer information and maybe you can help them out. Okay, let's take a look at our installation and see how far we've gotten so far. A little bit more than halfway through. So we're going to take a break right now, and I'll be back once the installation is finished, and we will fire up our virtual instance of the ClearOS 6.2. All right, and we're back, and we're just wrapping up the installation here. We need to do the bootloader really quickly, and then it will restart our ClearOS firewall server. Once that part is done, we'll reboot it. Now the really nice thing about this operating system is it's controlled from a web GUI. So we'll go ahead and get ready to get into the web interface. And it's on my network, so it's going to be a 192.168.1. Their startup splash screen is very impressive too. Version 5.2 was not this pretty, but it still does a great job. Okay, and this will give us the IP address that it's at. It is at 114, and then we need to go to port 81. And we understand, and we will add an exception. We log in as root, and the password was password. Now, I use no script, so I do need to allow scripts to be launched, and we'll go through the wizard. We are going to change it to gateway mode. And there is our IP. We'll click next. And it just goes through a few settings. And then it asks us to either create an account for ClearCenter or go ahead and register our machine. Since I already have an account, I will go ahead and register this machine. So you can walk through creating the account settings. It's very easy. It's Man Cave demo. Click on register system. And this should just take a second. Boom, it is registered. Okay, likesmancave.org. And this is the internet host name. Now you might want to change that to something like mail.linuxmancave.org in case you're going to set up a mail server on your system, because it will actually be a mail server for you as well. And then we're going to create our certificate for the machine. And do make sure to fill out all of the boxes. The web interface is restarting with the new security certificate. We'll add the exception. And we're right back in. And it's now wanting us to set the date and time. And now we're going to head to the marketplace. This is where you'll add modules to your system. You don't have to add all the modules. You can add as many modules as you'd like. You can add a Windows networking module. We'll go ahead and add that for Samba. Might as well do FTP and Flex shares. You will also notice that they have three different types of icons. There's a green icon, which is a free service. There's a multicolored icon, which is a paid service. And they also have a rusty brown, copperish icon, and those are paid services. So be careful on what you choose. If you do need to choose a paid service, they're there and they will take your credit card. We'll add web and database as well. They do have some intrusion prevention detection software. That's almost a must for everybody. You don't want people trying to hack into your system. If you're worried about content, if you have little kids at home, you can set up content filtering and web proxying. If you want to lock out what time you don't want your kids on the internet, you can set up web access control, which will block which times you don't want them to be on the internet. I'm going to go ahead and add just port forwarding. There's lots of different types of firewalls you can have here. You can have an egress firewall, one-to-one NAT if you've got multiple outside IP addresses. If you've got multiple internet connections, you can do multi-WAN, which will feature fallover or actually distributing the traffic between them. They have VPNs for you to set up. You can monitor your bandwidth. You can set up a network time server that will sync all your machines to that. You can have some shell execution if you need it. Password policy application. You can get a little graphical disk usage thing. Process and log viewer. Those are good. They do also offer cloud storage. I think pretty much everybody nowadays is trying to offer some cloud storage. And so you've got the ability to do that. And they've got a software repository we're going to add and account manager. Okay, these are all of our packages. At this time, it's going to prompt us to log back into the Clear Center. Now, if you did select some packages that you would have to pay for, at this time they would ask you for your credit card information. But since all of our stuff is free, we can go ahead and download and install. Okay, and we are back. And we're going to update the navigation menus, and then we're going to click on Finish the Install. And now you can see we've got a few different options over here on the left, and they're also across the top for us. And we've got a MySQL server. So we're going to go ahead and start the MySQL server. And it's going to ask us for a password. We'll go ahead and set... Doesn't look correct. Password. Okay. Our password is now set. And now, if this is the first installation and you try to go to the MySQL management tool, there it is. And it remembers the password for you. So there's the MySQL admin, the PHP MyAdmin page, and you can set up your SQL databases here. We can go ahead and start our directory server, and it is linuxmancave.org. We can initialize it. Okay. It is stopped. The FTP server stopped until you actually create usernames, so we're not going to worry about creating usernames right now. What I did want to show you is port forwarding. If anybody's ever set up a port forward, you can set up a port forward for something like web. If you've got another machine behind the firewall that you want to serve web pages, you can give it an IP to that machine, and the ClearOS firewall will redirect all traffic to that machine. Simple as that. And this is how you remove a port forward. One of the cool things in the gateway is the intrusion prevention. If it did, actually the detection part, I'll show you. It'll look for your DNS exploits, FTP exploits, mail exploits, shell code. Anybody trying to get into your network via any port on the firewall will pick it up, and then it will automatically throw them into a block list. So you'll have a block list here, and if there are IPs of machines in the outside world that you need to be able to hit your machine, you can add them to the whitelist. It has the basic DHCP server settings. I did install the bandwidth manager and the network visualizer. This will actually show you where the traffic is going to, if there's any traffic on your network. All port 114 and and pretty much staying internal to the network. But you can definitely see what's going on. It shows you what ports. And we've got a log viewer. Shows you all of your different logs. It's got your secure logs, system logs, all kinds of logs. You can see the running processes on your machine. You can actually kill them from here as well. A little graphical representation of your disk usage. That's what it looks like. All in all, a great little server software, and I hope you do get a chance to use it yourself. Dashboard, and we're going to go ahead and shut it down from the web interface. And now my machine is going down. Alright, thanks for watching this edition of the Linux Man Cave, and if you have any questions on any parts of the ClearOS firewall that you need help on, please feel free to leave comments below. I'll answer them as quickly as I can, and I'll even put up videos if we need to. Thanks again for watching.